and welcome back to the AI Marketers Playbook, where we cover actionable frameworks to actually leverage AI in business. I'm Audrey Chia, your host, and today I have with me a super talented creator and friend, Celeste Yamile, to the show. Celeste is the founder of Tempora Labs, where she specializes in building high-converting personal brands on LinkedIn. Now, over the past 3 years, Celeste has worked behind the scenes with many influencers, right? Some of whom with up to 2.5 million followers. And Celeste has really mastered the art of content creation systems and is now using AI in her workflows to build systems that can help build a impactful personal brand. Welcome, Celeste. I am so excited to be speaking with you today.
Yeah, that's an amazing intro. Thanks, Audrey. Well, as you said, we've been in this journey for a while, learning how to create content with AI, and it's crazy with all the updates and with all the new models and tools that exist out there. So yeah, it's crazy and good to be here.
Yeah. I think what I love about Celeste's content is that it's very actionable, super authentic. If you take a look at her LinkedIn profile, she shares like one of the most incredible like video formats and carousel formats. So do check her out. But before we dive into that, Celeste, could you tell us a bit more about yourself, your background, and how you got started with Tempora Labs?
Sure. I mean, my background was as a video editor, so that's why I really love video, and I like build personal brands with video plus AI with in this journey of the content. And I was like so afraid of being in front of the camera, so afraid to put myself out there in the content space, that I like was working with a lot of brands, but behind the scenes. So, like as an editor, I was making the scripts. I was being like a copywriter at the time. I was like trying to be everything. I was like designing some things, and I've noticed that most part of these people like follow a similar pattern, and all of them wanted to be seen, like wanted to be heard, or wanted to drive some revenue to be able to grow their business. So I've noticed that this was like a worthy mission to pursue. If I already loved content, why not like learn how to do it the right way? And I started operating like behind the scenes, and like I thought that it was so worth to share like the things that I was learning through uh, helping these people, and I like that's how it all started. Also, I discovered AI and just fall in love with everything.
I think whoever who's in the content space, right, and whoever who starts using AI, you suddenly realize like how much faster everything gets, right? Like I
Yes.
think I save about 70 to 80% of the time it takes to create any piece of content. Even ebooks. I realize that AI can be a super good companion in creating content. But let's talk about it, right? How are you actually using, AI in your workflows?
In my workflows, there are different types of things that I use. Of course, there is this content that converts. So in the part of creating the content, I have my GPTs where I always recommend someone to build GPTs because you can automate your workflow. So I've gathered my databases with some hooks, with content ideas that are tailored to my content strategy. So I always go through my GPT brainstormer and I start planning content from the month. And I know that this type of content will converge. Like there's only three types of content that this GPT suggests, and it's type of content that will grow, that will help me to engage with the audience, or that will help me to sell some of the things or some of my services. So that's some of the workflows with the GPTs. Also, I don't know if you have, I think you have used this a lot, and it's AI in the meetings and AI in the note taking system because you can really get a lot of insights, and it's becoming like awesome because from a meeting with a prospect or a yeah, from a prospect you can get all these pain points and all of these desires that they have, and you can also I analyze the transcript of the meeting with ChatGPT too to know like what are the pain points and what could I have done like better in this call now that I'm like selling my services. And another interesting thing about using AI for note takers is that you can use the insights. For example, if like we chat, we have a meeting and we use an AI note taker, we talk about insights of the industry, and this AI note taker will take the main key points and key takeaways, and now I can start creating content about those ideas. So it's all about ideas that are like top in the industry or that will help to be in the space with. I think it's a common problem is that you create content that you think is going to be useful, but
Mm,
some people don't really know their ideal like target audience or how
yes.
the market looks like. And when you have these types of meetings with other people and you listen to them, you can get like all of this information that maybe you can have a bias that you don't see, or you think that you know something like sorry you think that everyone else knows something just because you know that.
Yeah.
And then when you have this meeting, you realize about it and you realize that it can be a good product or a good service or a good class, a good webinar, or something like that. So I really like to use AI for that and also to repurpose content.
Yeah.
That's the last one that I use AI for to help
There
me to
is like
repurpose content.
so much to unpack, in whatever you just shared, right? So you talk about firstly finding audience insights. I also love using AI to transcribe the meeting minutes and really pull out audience insights, right? For example, Sabo does that
Yeah.
really brilliantly, right? It gets your audience pain points, desires, even like topic starters, right? And then it gets those insights for us to use. And I like what you say about like creating GPTs with top performing frameworks. Because some people think that you ask AI to create a content strategy and it knows what to do. But
Yeah.
may not actually, write it in the way that you want it to. But if you train it with top performing frameworks that you, as a content creator, already know will succeed, then the output is so much better.
Yeah, it's amazing. And two of the things that I really like to use AI for, it's to analyze data and to provide examples. Like if you analyze the type of content that you want to create and then you provide examples of that type of content, then AI will do like an amazing job. So for example, the way my GPT for hooks works is that now I tell it, okay, hey GPT, I have an idea about X, give me a hook. And it gives me 5 different ideas that are actually useful. But this is because I have this database with 100 hooks that are categorized in like for controversy, then maybe there are hooks for educational content or they are hooks for like they have different purposes, right? But they are examples. So I see that a lot of people make this mistake that they use prompts to train the GPT, but you don't need to use prompts a lot. What you need to do is to use data. So when you use data and you use examples, and it's like it's easier for ChatGPT to really know what you're talking about and really understand that. So it's amazing what it can do with this.
I love that you said, you train it with top performing frameworks, right? This is something that I have found extremely useful as well. I think I realized that when you give ChatGPT free reign, tends to go like everywhere except
Yeah.
for where you want it to be. But when you give it like the parameters and you show it like, hey, these are examples of things that have worked for me and my clients. I want you to learn from them. Then you get a much more like targeted output. But I also would like to ask like, are there any, repetitive workflows that you have managed to streamline with AI? Could you give us like some examples of those?
Sure. But one of the tools I've been using, I I think I have heard about copy AI, and it was like, okay, yeah, copy AI, just like create the copy. I can do it with ChatGPT, whatever. But what I've noticed, let me share my screen right here so everyone can see that, is that what I've noticed is that we have pretty interesting things that we can do with it. We can automate workflows of the content. So you're looking at my screen right now, Audrey?
Yes. So for those of you who cannot see the screen, Celeste will talk us through it, but we are looking at the screen of Copy AI and she's going to show us her really awesome workflows. I'm really excited to dive into those.
Yeah, so what Copy AI helps me to do is that they have a way that you can automate your workflows with content. And I'm just going to click one of these features right here that says workflows, and I'm going to add a new workflow. And I love this part because you can just create something with your words. I mean, I feel very intimidated by Zapier. I know it's easy, and I know that some people will be like, yeah, Zapier is easy. But when I see code, I kind of freak out. So that's why I really
Me
like this
too.
because it's only text, and here like it's one of the prompts I use. For example, give me a YouTube video, because I have a YouTube channel and I have clients that have YouTube channels. So I say, given a YouTube video, create a SEO optimized blog, and then brainstorm title ideas for this blog. Also, I want the subject line, and I want you to create a post for Twitter, and now it's X, but whatever. And I want important quotes from the YouTube transcript that I have in the tweets. And I do this because, as I said, me and my clients, we have YouTube channels, and I want to be able to repurpose this SEO optimized blog as a newsletter. So I can have like a newsletter, and I can also have a blog with the subject line and the ideas, and the tweets work. So we can, from this YouTube video, one, we can start recording these small snippets, or number two, we can pass these to the video editors, and they will notice the insights that they need to be able to run. I mean, the insights that they need to be able to edit, and that they need to be able to produce like shorts. So I just kind of click here, and it's going to generate all the workflow. Now I'm just going to I think I can open this right here. Yeah. So here's in the part where it says build, but now when you change to the part run, it's going to look like this. So here I am in the part of building this workflow. And after I put the prompt and specifying all the things that I want, I can see that we have little blocks here that are guiding me through all the workflow that I just put. And it's been pretty useful because I can change the prompt, I can change the voice tone that I want to have my ideas, I can add examples right here, I can improve the prompt. The only thing that Copy AI is making is that it's automating everything, and now you can improve. So after this, when I see the workflow that I'm having right here, I see that it's taking all the transcript, like automatically, it's turning this video. Then after it's finished turning this transcript, it's creating for me the newsletter. It's like with the headlines, with the small snippets of the rest of the post. And finally, it's making like the title ideas, the subject line ideas, and here I have the tweets. So all of this, it's amazing because I've seen that, I don't know if you have seen this, Audrey, but there are these six-figure entrepreneurs that have amazing media teams. They hire copywriters, they hire editors, they hire everyone they can, and they create all this workflow like in hours. When I was making this automatically, it was taking me like 3 hours, 5 hours only to reach like this point, like the point of the draft. And now when I have this workflow, now for example, I'm just gonna take this video like from Gary Vee because I love the way it can turn long form videos into small pieces. Now I can just click that, put the link, and then put wrong workflow, and it will go through every single one of these steps in seconds. So I think it's pretty
Wow.
amazing what it can do, and the amount of time that you can save.
Yeah.
As I said, it's like from 3 to 5 hours to now be able to do this in minutes. So I think it's crazy to be able to make these types of things. And for those that don't want to use like Copy AI, like as I said, you can also use your own GPTs. And I have this little tool right here that I love a lot. And it says youtubetranscript.com. If you go to youtubetranscript.com and you paste the URL, you can also have the full transcript of the video. And then the amazing thing is that you can like just copy the entire transcript, and once it's done, you can go to your GPT, or I don't know, you use Cloud, any model you want to use, and you can do whatever you want. You can tell it to create these twists, more ideas for content, small snippets that you can repurpose. Like the possibilities are endless once you have the transcript.
Yeah. Firstly, I did not know about this YouTube transcriber. I was looking for something like this. So you saved my day. I tried an extension. I think it was the other one you recommended, Merlin. but it wasn't like
Ah,
the
yeah.
full transcript. So this is definitely something that I would love to have and love to use. And I think what I love about your workflows is that you can build it in any way you want. And the way you built it was scrape a YouTube video, create a blog post, create your tweets, create your social captions, for example. And this is how like a usual content creator would have to work on, content and think about how you repurpose it. So you're actually just breaking down your own steps and then training AI
Yeah.
to work on it step by step and get you to at least 70% of where you want to be, which I think it's a beautiful workflow, Celeste. Amazing job.
Thank you. There are a lot of things, honestly, that you can do. You can also use it to analyze data. I don't know if you want me to show you that workflow, but I think it's pretty amazing. I
Yes, I think
use
we would love to see how you use AI to analyze data because data is such an important part of, content creation, but not many people know how to leverage it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I don't know why I was doing this, why I wasn't doing this before. But, well, essentially, right now I am in my GPT. Sorry, my GPT. It's my Chat GPT. Okay, I just love it. But I am in Chat GPT, and I am right now. Well, not right now, but I just uploaded the data this morning, and I have here the database. So if you go to your LinkedIn profile, you have an option to download your data. You have an option to download all your analytics from a year to from some months, like from the last 2 weeks, from the last 3 months. But I like to upload the data from like a year. And after this, I just start asking questions. Like the first step I did was to tell ChatGPT, okay, ChatGPT, analyze this data internally to understand what's going on, and then answer okay if you like once you're ready. And I do this because if you start asking questions right away, it kind of like mess it up a lot. So after like it analyzed the data and it told me like, yeah, I'm ready, girl, to go, I start asking, okay, from the top posts that I have, give me the URL of the 10 posts that give me a bigger and significant follower increase. And it's pretty crazy because now, right here, this is something that the data on LinkedIn is not giving you. Like they give you the data of your posts that have the biggest amount of impressions, but they don't tell you which ones give you more followers. And it's connecting the dots. So from the ones that give me more followers, it's also telling me the impressions and the engagements that I'm having. And I thought it was pretty important to ask too, to have the ones that give me the least followers. So once I'm connecting these two charts, I can see like an interesting thing. And for example, in the last chart, when I'm asking for the ones that didn't give me a lot of followers, I have one with 18,000. And I think 18,000 impressions, it's a lot,
Yeah.
honestly. I was
Yeah.
just my past self, like my little Celeste that was creating content 1 year ago that had like 200 impressions would be amazed by this number. But it's giving me like 30 new followers. And the crazy thing
Interesting.
here is that, for example, in the first chart, I'm having 12,000 impressions, which is less than 18, of course, but it's giving me 97 new followers. So I said, like, okay, like what's going on? What are these posts having in common that even if this had less impressions, it's giving me more results? So I can really see how to grow my audience with this type of strategy. And in my case, when I click in this post and I start analyzing them, I noticed that the topic that I was posting more about was AI. So in the second chart from the posts that give me less followers, I was posting about AI in general, and it was trendy. It had a lot of views. But when I was posting about AI plus how to use it for content, that is the first chart with more results, I was like, I was getting like 200 new followers per post. So it's crazy to see how you can analyze the data and understand how your content works and understand, for example, like most part of these posts are carousels. and the other half of those posts are videos. So I noticed that I'm not a really good copywriter. I'm more like a visual person, I'm more like a video person. So I see that this type of content really works for me. And it's not that one type of content will work for your, like, works for everyone. If someone tells you, like, do video because it performs really well, like, you can have an awful camera presence, you can be really awkward in camera, and video is not gonna do really well for you. So when I have this data, I can really like understand myself better and understand my content better. And I think like this is a workflow that all other people can do as too.
Oh, this is super awesome. I think a lot of people focus on the content creation part and they don't even look at how their matrix have been performing. But actually, like the best content creators out there are people who are also very data driven, like yourself, right? You learn how to optimize your posts, you learn how to like figure out what is working and what is not. And really like being able to learn from your past experiences will help you to get enough learnings to then grow even faster, and that's how you see like that really, really great growth trajectory. But in terms of like AI and content, what do you think are like some, misconceptions that people commonly have?
Yeah, so some of misconceptions is that I think that we fall into the hype. We want the things to be faster and easy. So when I see a lot of this content popping up, and just if you go to YouTube right now and you go and see content with AI content, the videos that will appear to you are only the videos about tools that can do all the work for you. These are the videos that people are watching the most. So I'm like, no, guys, that's not how AI works. I think that a lot of people believe that you're creating content right, like in level one. It takes you 3 hours to reach level one. And a lot of people are not reaching level two because they are already tired. Like you're already burned out. It took you a long time to reach level one. But if you use AI, you can reach level one in 5 minutes. And now you have all the energy to continue to improve your content and reach level two with all the energy possible. And once you like know how to use AI, once you know your workflows, once you know yourself, you can reach level two in like 10 minutes, right? And now you go to level three and you actually start improving and you start being better than all of your competitors. So it's not about working less or having AI to do all for us, but having like really having more tools and empower ourselves. I think that's the best mindset that I see people have when it comes to content that actually succeeds and converts.
I absolutely love that. And I think the idea is how do you make yourself like so much more efficient and productive and focus on that higher level strategic work? Because AI is great at giving that first V1. I think it gets you to 60 to 70% of your final output, but it's always the additional 30 to 40% of the human input and your expertise as a content creator, your expertise being in social media for such a long time, and you have that eye for like, okay, I see a trend or I see this happening. Let's test this, let's test that. That really gets you like more optimized results. And I would love to know, since you have been in the space for some time, what are some of your favorite AI tools you cannot live without?
Yeah, that is amazing. I mean, I know like the most obvious one, of course, is ChatGPT. I kind of hate it, love it sometimes, but the GPTs are like another level. The other one I use a lot is Descript. I don't know if you have, well, I know you have heard about it, but I'm in a stage with my content where I'm kind of, I try to see what are the best investments in terms of tools or in terms of equipment. And I've noticed that, for example, what Descript has is that it creates this really great dynamic subtitles, and then it helps you to improve the audio, the quality of your audio. And this is something I love because I don't have a microphone. The other tool I use, like I think we already mentioned that, is Sibyl to the meeting notes because it, as I said, it identifies the pain points of the person that you're talking to. It identifies their desires. It can see when they are distracted, when they are paying attention, when they are like agreeing with you. And it's like, oh my God, I didn't notice that I was like talking and I was a little bit boring, or I'd say this thing and it was resonating with this person. And now I can use these ideas, one to improve my sales skills, and the other one to create more content and yeah, to create more content. So those are one of the some of the tools that I use.
I am completely aligned with you. I also have this script. What I like about it actually is that it's very good at editing filler words. So if let's say you say alright, it gets you to really cut and shape off those words in a very smart manner because they have the full transcript for you. So instead of like having to trim the actual video clip and zoom in and try to cut those pauses out, now you have the transcript and you can just delete words off the transcript and really get a super, super clear flow. That is one tool that I absolutely love and I think that every content creator should invest in. And like what you said
Yeah.
about Serbo, right, at the meeting minute note taker, the key point is figuring out your audience insights. And audience insights actually is a huge part in content creation. I don't think many people understand this concept enough. They think that creating content is just putting things out there about yourself. But
Yeah, it's
actually,
all about
it's like,
psychology.
yeah, a psychology, right? Putting things out there that your audience will actually care about. And that means addressing their pain points, their desires, their needs, and their wants. So absolutely love like the way you think about content creation and content strategy. Now, what advice do you have for someone who is trying to start, their personal brand or trying to create content for the first time?
I it's just kind of a it's a good question actually, because I think that the most important thing right here is that you need to focus more when you're talking about AI. You need to focus a lot because there are new tools coming out there, and if you go to, for example, if you go to LinkedIn, you will find a lot of people posting about 10 new tools to try in 2024, 10
Yeah.
new tools about, and every week there are 10 new tools, and I'm like, oh my God. So I really love this part of in experimenting and testing things. But the way that I usually choose my AI tools is because I've seen that the founders have been in the AI space for a long time.
Mm.
Or this tool is not like recent. It's been like under development on like from years ago. So it's it's a lot. And you need to be able to focus with your own workflow, with your own tools, and don't get anyone distract you. I think that's the most important thing.
I always think it's also about like finding the problem you want to solve because it's very easy to get, lost in the rabbit hole of like, hey, let's test this tool out, let's test that tool out. Then you end up doing like 100 different things, but not really knowing what's your end output or outcome. But if you actually focus on what problems you have, like, oh, I'm taking too much time turning a transcript into a blog post. How can I streamline that process? If you come from like a problem first perspective, then when you build out the solutions, then it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
It's like you're actually saving time. Like yourself, you spend 5 minutes building out a full flow now, which would have taken you perhaps 3 to 5 hours.
yeah.
And that's
And
like
the other,
incredible.
it absolutely is. And the other thing I would say is well, this is kind of an advice, a warning. I would say it's a warning for people that want to start with this, because when you start your journey, you feel like you just prompt something into ChatGPT. You spend like a minute trying to create the prompt, and then you want to have like this amazing result, or you want to like spend 10 minutes in a prompt, and then you will be like, oh, I didn't have the results that I wanted. And then you'll be like, okay, let me spend a little bit more of time with this. Maybe I will spend 30 minutes playing with this workflow. And it didn't work. But then that you spend an hour, there you can spend more time on this. And you think that AI will save you time, but you need to be patient first. It teaches you how to be patient first and how to learn, because a lot of people forget that this is actually a skill. It's not like you can type, and because you can type, you can already prompt and you are amazing using AI. It's a skill. So you can. I've seen a lot of people stopping in the AI space because they think it's just hype, or they think I can't have good results with AI. I can't understand how people use it. But like I have a really good workflow right now with my GPTs, but I've spent weeks and almost like 3 months gathering all the data from these copywriters. I spent like a lot of money having the templates that I use to train my GPTs. So there's a difference from someone that just wants to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes using AI and have a result in seconds, to someone that wants to spend like a week creating something that really works and then do the rest of their job in seconds. So that's another thing.
I always like to say that prompting is actually like copywriting. It's a skill
Yeah,
set,
it's a
right?
skill.
It is, right? It's like in copy, you also have to figure out who's your audience, what's your objective, how do you use words to get from one step to the next. And it's the
Yeah.
same when you try to develop a prompt. And like what Celeste said, actually it takes so much time developing a prompt. Like even for my landing page prompt, people see like, oh, it's just a landing page prompt and they use it and it works, right? But they don't know like the 100 versions that I tested before
Yeah,
getting to
the
that final
versions.
version. And
And you can delete one word. You delete one word and the prompt works. You add one word and the prompt just cracks. It's like, what happened? Yeah.
it does. And I think the more time you spend with ChatGPT or any AI tool, the more you sort of figure out their quirks and their patterns and how you
Yeah.
communicate with them, how you get them to produce better results. Even for me, like sometimes I realize breaking things down into very simple steps or instructions is better than combining everything into one prompt, because sometimes AI tends to forget like parts of your instructions and they just like selectively skim through
Yeah.
the prompt, and then
Maybe.
they're like, I want to do 1 and 5. That's
Yeah.
it.
Take it or leave it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got to like guide them through like, let's do step 1. Okay, there's only step 1 to do. You can't do anything else.
Yeah.
And then step 2. And then all the way until you get to step 5. But it's really through experimenting with the tools and really integrating it into your workflows that you get the best results. So with that, Celeste, can you tell us more about who you work with at Tempora Labs and how people should find you?
Yeah, sure. Well, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's my happy place. That's, I think, Audrey's happy place too. She's been like a queen there for a lot of us. So you can find me on LinkedIn, and I help clients to build their personal brands that converts. So our main goal is to grow, engage, and monetize an audience using these AI systems. And I'm so happy for this because it's a system that we can use without like you needing to lose your soul, or like without sounding salesy or everything. And like my passion has always been to be people be seen and be heard, and that they can share their ideas online. I don't like to be a ghost, and I don't like someone to feel that they don't have a voice. So yeah, that's kind of my mission, and you can find me there.
Awesome. So if you're thinking of starting your own personal brand or starting content creation, like what Celeste said, remember to own your voice. It is yours, right? And
Yeah.
your kind of content that you put out there becomes your personal asset, which is so powerful and it compounds in the long term. So thank you so much, Celeste, for joining us. It was a pleasure having you on the show. And thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and hit the bell for more actionable AI marketing insights. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you. Bye bye.